What's up, guys? It is Sam here. Today is Monday 4/22, and I wanted to talk about the stupid tax. But before I do that, make sure you press that subscribe button and that little bell notification that's stuck in my ear. There we go. You don't want to see what that looks like. And that little bell notification so YouTube can notify you every time I post a new video. So, with that being said, there's different taxes out there that come up with nicknames. Like the lottery, for example, is almost a you could think of as a stupid tax, right? People who spend money on the lottery consistently literally are just dumping it down the drain. I think 2017 or something like that was close to $80 billion spent on lottery tickets. Now imagine just for a second taking that $80 billion and investing it in yourself, right? Investing in your education, right? Like even if you spent $300 a year on lottery tickets, if you took if you took that $300 and say you bought several books or audiobooks because you're like, I don't fucking read, right? First of all, you could read. Second of all, is you could get audiobooks and you could listen to a couple audiobooks per year or per month. And that will be a much higher ROI on your money than spending the $300 on the lottery ticket, which is zero or very close to zero. You just have to bring it out, so many decimal places to find it that is positive, just because it's such a low probability thing. But the actual stupid tax, right? And there's nothing wrong with anybody. It's just the term that I've heard used associated with this, is overdraft fees. So I think it's the consumer something for finance or whatever. Banks or credit unions and such with more than $1 billion in assets have to report how much they collect in overdraft fees. And in 2017, there was over $34 billion in overdraft fees, right? So think of this, right? Maybe not so much as the lottery, because that's something that people actively have to do, right? They have to go purchase a lottery ticket. But with overdraft fees, there's a little thing to avoid them, like it's called the internet. You can log on, and I understand some people don't have the internet, right? But they have access to a telephone 99% of the time. And on debit, I don't have one here. Here we go, actually. Why do I have debit cards just sitting around on my desks randomly? That's a good question. On the back of debit cards, there's phone numbers. So you just call the phone number on the back of the debit card to get a balance inquiry, right? So if you just look at online, whether it's through an app or through online banking, you call the number, you go into the branch, anything, right? I think the average is around $30 or $35 for overdraft fees. If you do, say, 3 of those a year, there's $100. Think about 100 more bucks, like what you could do with that. Some people are paying this substantially more than $100 a year, right? Like, if you're doing one of these a month, that's absolutely fucking insane. That's over $300 a year. Take that and just invest in yourself and how to understand and have some type of financial literacy to spend within your means, right? And you think about the same thing, right? This is $34.3 billion in 2017 paid in overdraft fees. Man, think about that $34 billion. And how that could be spent to, right? So say throughout the year, you do one on average, you do 0.75 or something like that, 0.7 per month, right? So you do about 10 per year, and if they're $30, that's $300 a year, right? You could go get a couple books, learn about this kind of thing. So you don't spend this money. You don't need to. Like, we don't even give that money to the fucking bank. Banks have plenty of money. Their job is almost to extract their money from the customers. Like, overdraft fees should just either be gotten rid of most of the time, or there's people, I feel, need to take a much more active role in their own responsibility and how to live their life and how to navigate the financial landscape in 2019. The only way I know of, literally the only way, is through continued education. And the internet's here. Like, I understand people go through things and it might be challenging, but if somebody can't find 20 minutes or an hour a week to read about some of these things and take active action towards whatever they're trying to accomplish, right? You know what I mean? There's not any responsibility, or there's a complete lack of either the financial education, or I think more so the self-awareness that comes along with taking action to better oneself. You know, and there's that in that delta between the financial literacy and people actually taking action for themselves, is that's where that $34 billion is. That's where plenty of companies prey on, because they know 99% of people, even 99% of people who watch this video, aren't going to do dick about it. Right? Like, that's crazy. And in that delta between those two things is where companies make money, because they know most people are just too lazy or don't want to take responsibility for their own actions in their own life to achieve anything, right? All it literally takes is, it doesn't matter how much you make or how little you make, it just matters that how much you save. The delta between how much you make and how much you spend. That's the only thing. And having something like this, seeing numbers like this, just like, you know what I mean? It blows my mind that so many people think about, oh, it's just $35. It's just $35. I just really needed to do that thing, or whatever the case is. But then they continue paying this for periods of time. You know? And I remember there was probably like at least a few month period where I had overdraft fees when I was a kid. You know, I was 17 and didn't, or whatever age I was, and you know, I wanted to go out partying and shit. Like, I get it. I understand it. But if you have any stress or angst over not being able to reach your financial goals, or if you have any stress or angst about not having money, like, take some fucking responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to live a little bit below your means. And it makes a tremendous difference, especially as time goes on. Especially if you're younger. You have, you know what I mean? I'm 34, but if you started this at 24, holy fuck, you'd be miles and miles ahead of where I am right now. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Like, things like this are just absolutely insane to me. I think more of these things need to just be talked about openly in conversations to help people understand, like, the impact of things like this. If you watched the last video I just did about TV consumption is correlated with, inversely correlated with earnings. Meaning, the more TV you watch, the less you earn on average. So that's crazy, right? Because think about this kind of thing being somebody who has lower income, who probably gets these types of fees, could, I bet if you looked at the data, probably would have lower income. So somebody who pays a lot of overdraft fees probably has lower income, and they probably watch more TV, right? So understanding that, talking about these things, share these with people, right? Share this video with somebody who you know who's paid an overdraft fee, or things like that. Or share that last video about watching TV, right? These things need to be talked about. They need to be brought to light so that people know it's not consumerism. Like, you don't need to go buy shit every single time you have another dollar in your pocket, right? learn and grow so you can put yourself in a position to be and do whatever it is that you want to do in the future. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.